The ballroom erupted in applause as they announced my name, but my husband's seat sat empty. 3 hours of networking, champagne, and forced smiles later, my single status at Chicago's most prestigious marketing awards ceremony became the gossip of the evening. Let me back up. 6 months ago, I would have told you I had it all figured out. Emily Chen, 34, marketing director at Harrison & Associates, married to Ryan Mitchell, CEO of TechVista Solutions. We were the power couple everyone admired at industry events. The kind of couple who finished each other's sentences, who slow danced in our kitchen on Sunday mornings, who talked about the lake house we'd buy when we both made partner-level income. I should have known something was wrong when he stopped asking about my pitches. It started small. Ryan used to want every detail about my campaigns, would brainstorm taglines with me over morning coffee, would celebrate every client win like it was his own. But around January, his eyes would glaze over when I talked about work. He'd check his phone mid-conversation, mumble "That's great, babe," and disappear into his home office. "It's just the Series B funding round," he'd say when I asked. "Investors are breathing down my neck. Once we close this, things will calm down." They didn't calm down. By March, he was staying late at the office 4 nights a week. By April, he'd started going on weekend team-building retreats that I wasn't invited to. In May, when I got the email that I'd been nominated for the Industry Excellence Award, his response was a thumbs-up emoji. Not even a full text. But I'm not the type to cry into my pillow and wonder what I did wrong. I'm the type who built a marketing career from nothing, who negotiated my own contracts, who turned struggling brands into household names. So when my gut screamed that something was off, I listened. I hired Marcus Webb, a private investigator who specialized in corporate espionage. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I'd feel stupid when Marcus came back with nothing but photos of Ryan actually working late. 2 weeks later, Marcus sat across from me at a coffee shop in Lincoln Park, sliding a manila folder across the table. "Mrs. Mitchell, I don't know how to tell you this gently, so I'm just going to say it. Your husband is planning to destroy you." The folder contained printed emails, text messages, financial records. Ryan and Jessica Hartley, his VP of operations, weren't just having an affair. They'd started a competing firm 6 months ago, been funneling TechVista's clients to their new company, and were planning to launch publicly the week after Ryan divorced me. But here's where it got worse. They needed capital. A lot of it. And thanks to the prenup my lawyer father insisted on before the wedding, Ryan couldn't touch my assets in a normal divorce. The prenup had one exception. If either spouse was deemed mentally unfit, the contract was void, and marital assets would be split according to Illinois law. The emails laid it out like a business plan. Jessica had a cousin who was a psychiatrist, willing to write falsified evaluations. They'd been documenting every moment I showed erratic behavior, which apparently included things like crying at my grandmother's funeral, raising my voice during an argument, and having a panic attack before a major presentation. Ryan had even installed cameras in our home without my knowledge, editing footage to make me look unstable. "They're planning to have you committed," Marcus said quietly. "Temporarily, just long enough to establish a pattern. Then file for divorce, void the prenup, take half your savings and your share of the house. Your reputation would be destroyed, and you'd have no recourse." I sat there, coffee growing cold in my hands, feeling like someone had replaced my organs with ice. "When?" I asked. "The commitment papers are drafted for June 18th. Your award ceremony is June 15th. I think they want one last public event where you're still seen as successful before they tear you down." I looked at the date. 3 weeks away. "Marcus, I need you to keep gathering evidence. Every email, every text, every financial transaction. And I need to know their exact plan for the next 3 weeks." He raised an eyebrow. "What are you thinking?" "I'm thinking that if they want a public event, I'll give them one they'll never forget." The next 3 weeks were the best acting performance of my life. I smiled at Ryan over breakfast, asked about his day, pretended not to notice when he slipped out to take calls from the office at 9 p.m. I even suggested we attend my award ceremony together, bought him a new tie to match my dress. "Wouldn't miss it," he said, kissing my forehead. The same forehead he was planning to have a doctor declare damaged goods. What Ryan didn't know was that I'd spent those 3 weeks building my own case. I contacted a colleague whose husband was a federal prosecutor. Turned out, what Ryan and Jessica were doing, stealing clients and company resources, constituted wire fraud and embezzlement. The falsified medical records? Fraud, conspiracy, potentially criminal depending on how far they took it. I also hired a forensic accountant who traced every dollar Ryan had funneled from TechVista to his new company. $700,000 over 6 months. I contacted TechVista's board of directors, the ones who'd trusted Ryan for 8 years, and requested a private meeting. And I called a lawyer. Not just any lawyer, but Catherine Price, the shark who'd handled the Sanderson divorce case that made national news. She looked at my evidence, looked at me, and smiled. Emily, when this is over, you're going to own him. June 15th arrived sunny and perfect. The awards ceremony was being held at the Drake Hotel, black tie, 500 of Chicago's marketing elite. I'd won awards before, but this was the big one, the award that said you'd made it to the top of your field. I wore a deep blue gown, elegant and professional. I did my makeup carefully, making sure I looked composed, successful, sane. I even wore the diamond earrings Ryan had given me for our 5th anniversary, back when I still believed his gifts came from love instead of guilt. Ryan met me in our bedroom, adjusting his tie in the mirror. "You look beautiful," he said. "Thank you," I replied, watching him in the reflection, wondering how I'd ever loved this man. "Are you excited for tonight?" "Of course. It's your big night." His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, and I caught a glimpse of Jessica's name before he shoved it back in his pocket. "I have to take this. Work emergency. I'll meet you there, okay?" "Sure," I said sweetly. "See you there." He didn't see the smile drop from my face the moment he left. I arrived at the Drake early, before the cocktail hour. Catherine was already there, dressed elegantly, looking like any other guest. So was Marcus, in a waiter's uniform. And in a private room upstairs, TechVista's board of directors sat waiting with 2 FBI agents I'd been connected with through my prosecutor friend. "Everything's in place," Catherine whispered to me as I checked my lipstick in the lobby restroom. "You just have to get through the ceremony. We'll handle the rest." The cocktail hour was torture. Industry friends congratulated me, asked where Ryan was. "Running late," I said. "You know how it is." Jessica was there, stunning in a red dress, playing the role of supportive colleague. She hugged me, told me she was so proud, all while planning my destruction. Ryan finally showed up halfway through dinner, sliding into his seat with an apologetic kiss on my cheek. "Sorry, babe. Client emergency." "It's fine," I said. The presentations began. 3 awards before mine. I could barely focus, could barely eat the salmon on my plate. My heart pounded so hard I thought everyone could hear it. And then, this year's Industry Excellence Award goes to Emily Chen Mitchell for her groundbreaking campaign that revolutionized digital engagement across the healthcare sector. The room erupted in applause. I stood, smoothed my dress, and walked toward the stage. As I passed our table, I looked at Ryan. He was clapping, smiling, playing the proud husband. He didn't stand up, didn't kiss me, didn't walk me to the stage like he'd done at smaller awards. I took the microphone, accepted the crystal trophy, and looked out at 500 faces. "Thank you," I began. "This award represents 5 years of work, of late nights, of believing in a vision that others said was impossible." I paused, caught Jessica's eye in the crowd. She was smiling. "I've learned a lot in this industry," I continued. "About loyalty, about integrity, about the importance of trust, both in our professional lives and our personal ones." Ryan's smile faltered slightly. "I've learned that success means nothing if it's built on lies. That achievements are hollow if you have to destroy others to reach them." The room had gone quiet. "I've also learned that sometimes the people who smile at you, who celebrate with you, who share your bed, are the same people planning your downfall." Now Ryan was standing. So was Jessica. Security guards, hired by Catherine, moved to block the exits. 3 weeks ago, I discovered that my husband and a colleague have been embezzling from TechVista Solutions, falsifying medical records to have me declared mentally unfit, and planning to steal everything I've worked for. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Someone dropped a glass. But here's what they didn't know. I knew. I documented everything. And right now, upstairs in this hotel, the FBI is reviewing evidence of wire fraud, embezzlement, and conspiracy. Ryan's face had gone white. Jessica tried to move toward the exit, but security stopped her. "So I want to thank my husband," I said, looking directly at Ryan, "for teaching me that I never needed him to succeed. That I'm strong enough on my own. And Jessica, thank you for showing me exactly what happens to people who underestimate me. I held up my trophy. This award is mine. Earned through my work, my talent, my integrity. And unlike my marriage, no one can take it from me. The room erupted. Some people applauded, others sat in shocked silence. Catherine appeared at my elbow as I stepped off the stage, guiding me through a side door while chaos unfolded behind us. The FBI wants to talk to you, she said. Ryan and Jessica are being detained for questioning. The board has suspended them both pending investigation. My hands were shaking. The adrenaline was wearing off, leaving me hollow. Did I really just do that? I whispered. You did. And Emily, you were magnificent. The next 72 hours were a blur of lawyers, depositions, and police statements. The evidence Marcus had gathered, combined with the forensic accounting and the falsified medical records, built an airtight case. Ryan and Jessica were charged with embezzlement, wire fraud, and conspiracy to commit fraud. TechVista fired them both and announced a full internal audit. The divorce was fast-tracked. With the prenup intact and evidence of Ryan's infidelity and criminal activity, Catherine negotiated a settlement that left me with everything. The house, my savings, even half of Ryan's legitimate assets. He'd tried to destroy me and ended up destroying himself instead. The media had a field day. Marketing executive exposes husband's fraud during award speech made headlines for weeks. My inbox exploded with interview requests, speaking opportunities, even a book deal offer. But honestly, I just wanted peace. 6 months later, I'm sitting on the deck of a small house I bought in Evanston, watching the sun set over Lake Michigan. I left Harrison & Associates and started my own consulting firm. Smaller, more selective, completely on my terms. I'm working with 3 amazing clients and I actually enjoy my work again. I sold the house in Lincoln Park, the one with hidden cameras in every room. This new place is mine, just mine, filled with furniture I picked out, art I actually like, and a ridiculous orange cat named Marmalade who showed up on my doorstep one rainy night and decided to stay. Ryan and Jessica both pled guilty to avoid trial. Ryan got 4 years in federal prison for embezzlement and fraud. Jessica got 3 and lost her professional licenses. TechVista recovered most of the stolen funds and implemented new oversight procedures. Sometimes I think about the Emily from a year ago, the one who believed in Sunday morning slow dances and kitchen counter conversations. I mourn her sometimes, mourn the innocence of believing that love was enough, that marriage meant partnership. But mostly, I'm grateful. Grateful that I trusted my gut. Grateful that I had the resources to fight back. Grateful that I'm the kind of woman who doesn't just accept betrayal, who doesn't just cry and wonder what she did wrong. I learned that you can survive anything when you refuse to let others define your worth. That the strongest thing you can do is walk away with your dignity intact. That revenge isn't about destroying someone else, it's about refusing to let them destroy you. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Catherine. Drinks this weekend? I have 3 new clients who need your marketing expertise. I smile and text back. Only if we're celebrating, not strategizing. I'm done with drama. She sends back a champagne emoji. Marmalade jumps into my lap, purring, and I scratch behind his ears while the sky turns pink and gold. Tomorrow I have a client meeting, then lunch with my sister. Then maybe I'll finally organize the spare bedroom I've been meaning to turn into a home office. Just normal things. Simple things. Things that are mine. The award sits on my mantle, catching the last rays of sunlight. I don't look at it and think about that night anymore, about the shock on Ryan's face or the chaos that followed. I look at it and think about the campaign I created, the work I'm proud of, the success I earned. Everything else? The drama, the betrayal, the public confrontation. That's just the story of how I learned to save myself. And honestly, that's the only award I really needed.